Well, good day, everybody, and welcome to today's Business Spotlight. Today, my guest is Bob Gallagher from GC Fit-Out. Welcome, Bob.
Thanks very much, Tom. Thanks for taking the time
So,
to talk.
tell our hundreds and thousands of viewers, what do you guys do and how long have you been doing it?
Well, Tom, we're a commercial office fit-out company primarily. We fit our offices, take it from shell and core through to a finished product, turnkey product for our clients in the commercial office and retail sectors primarily.
So, commercial and retail. So, there'd be, I presume, reasonably large projects, or is it medium to large, or is it all sizes fits that you?
Well, what we're described, I suppose, in revenue terms as a micro enterprise
Yeah.
would be a small to medium size contractor. Okay, so our project would range from anything from 500,000 up to maybe 5 million on the larger scale, but somewhere in the middle is our sweet spot, basically.
So the larger scale, fantastic. So obviously your journey's probably been pretty easy to hear so far, yeah?
Absolutely, yes. So we
Really?
kicked off.
So tell me, I presume it's been ups and downs like anybody else. So people listen to this are from a business background. So tell us a bit about the story. Has it been difficult? Has it been hard? Has it been ups and downs?
Absolutely. So we kicked off in January 2018 is when we formed originally. So we were lucky enough, we kicked off and got a project secured within 4 weeks of getting ready to set up. So it was good and it was bad when you look back from a lessons learned perspective, obviously planning, etc. And the construction and fit out sector, a lot of planning is required. But look, we had to do it on the hoof, as they say, getting offices, all the usual stuff set up. So it has been good. And obviously 2020 hit then with COVID. So we were just kind of getting up and you're kind of rolled back on your back again. So from 21 onwards, then it's picked up again. So yeah, it's been good. But look, it's like you got to roll with the punches. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is in the industry.
And interesting enough, then a lot of your work would obviously be focused on design. You'd have to go out and measure the site visit and quantify what it is the client is looking for. And COVID came along then, and you've got to work with your staff who have got to be hands-on, make everything, put it together. So presumably they all worked remotely during that period, or are they still working remotely, or where do you stand?
Yeah, so they primarily at the time, it would be a combination typically of going to site and working in the office. So obviously with COVID, there was minimal site visits, but a lot of stuff is done online via AutoCAD, etc. Now, so you have your dimension drawings, anyway, even in advance of going to sites. So you're just going to site to really sense check them. So that developed really the hybrid model, which we have today with our staff. So our interior designer and our QS, they all work on a hybrid. They work from home and they work go to site when needs be. But it was tricky at the time. We did do a couple of projects which were classed as essential projects during COVID, so we were allowed work, but they were just too small projects at the time, So, but it had a major impact. But it's had a major rethink in how we operate the business. To be fair, since COVID.
Yeah, well, everything has changed because of COVID, and I think mostly for the good. So tell me, how would you assess your team right now, and how do you inspire your team moving forward to face the future?
Yeah, so look, we operate a hybrid model, as I say. So look, it is an employees market, and that's not unfortunate. That's just the way it is. And look, I would describe myself as a dinosaur, but I've adopted the hybrid model as well. So I spend probably a lot of time as opposed to in an office, in my own home office here. So, but the staff, we try to catch up at least once a month as regards together. We catch up daily via Teams, etc. And we're usually meeting on site out of 5 days a week. We're meeting on site at least 3 days a week, So it's important we keep the interaction there. And look, we've got to collaborate. I know it's a buzzword in the office game, collaboration, but it is particularly from an in-house of staff and operations. We need to be connected on a regular basis from procurement, design, etc. So it's all linked together to make sure we're giving the client the end product that they require.
Fantastic. And speaking of the client, then, what do you reckon makes you stand out in your market?
Well, look, I suppose we're not we don't chase revenue. As I say, we're a small to medium enterprise, and look, what you see is what you get. I'm a hands-on director. I'm from a project management and quantity surveying background originally, so I have a good grasp of the costs and the timelines associated with projects. So I'm not I don't come in at the start and vanish. So I am hands-on, and I think you're guaranteed to get that when you work with ourselves. We are very accommodating. And look, every contractor, variations crop up, change orders crop up, but I wouldn't describe us as an aggressive type contractor. Look, margins are tight, to be fair. So you've got to watch everything. But I would say what you see is what you get. We're very honest and we're open, to be fair. If there's problems, we'll deal with them. You can only deal with problems if you know about them, So we are honest.
And obviously building your team and growing your team through COVID and all those other challenges. Recruitment is obviously a big issue for everyone out there at the moment because nobody can find anybody, so they say. So what would you say are the top 3 attributes that you look for when you're hiring?
Look, I suppose you want to look. First of all, you'll probably go through quite a few interviews to get down to maybe one or two preferred candidates. That's the first thing, so it can be an onerous enough process to get to that point with the way the market is at the minute. But you're looking for somebody who's given a bit of honesty and is willing to learn. Okay, and they may not be might be a rough diamond for lack of a better expression, but somebody that you think you can mold. And look, we have a couple of guys that we would brought on, and they would have progressed from being with us from starting off. They may not have been the finished article, but with experience and asking questions and willing to learn. And obviously, training is important as well. So you got to help the staff along as they progress as well on the project. But look, like everything else, you will learn a lot on the job. But honesty and willing to learn would be two important qualities from our perspective.
Okay, very good. So, an unfair question: if you had to start your business again, Bob, what would you do differently?
Well, I suppose the first thing I do is I take a break between leaving my old job and starting my new job. Okay, that's the first thing for sure.
Yeah.
Because literally when we started, just it rolled from one into the other. It probably look. I suppose in our case, we as I say we started the project very quickly after we left our original job. But I think it try and integrate technology that little bit quicker into the business, because a lot of stuff, you're hands on, you're working in the business as opposed to on the business, because it's the inception stages of the business. And obviously, technology has progressed so much now. For example, in our case, we're a paperless business. To be fair, even on site, all our health and safety is all via QR codes, digital signatures, for example, Procore for project management. So that'll be certainly one of the biggest lessons. Two of the biggest lessons we do: try and take a break and integrate technology that a little bit quicker as well.
Excellent. And you mentioned technology there is coming like a train, and it's going to affect a lot of different businesses, which some sectors don't see it yet, I believe. But I think technology is coming like a train. So do you see technology playing an even larger part in the future?
It does. I mean, look, you can see it as it is, like with BIM, etc. Like we don't be on a lot of projects with BIM, but we're on a large distribution center in Newbridge at the minute now, where BIM is involved in the model. And look, it's great for coordination, etc. But look, with AI coming down the tracks as well, it is. I know from the health and safety part of things, it's going to be. You'll be visualizing, you'll have a camera in your hat before long, I would have thought, so that's the way it's heading,
You'll be seeing yourself coming backwards. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So tell me, what were the biggest learning, Bob, that you got since you became a business owner?
Look, I suppose you have to try and train the brain, first of all, to try and adapt, because it's hard to switch off. It's really difficult to switch off, especially for an owner, mid-sized business, small to mid-sized business, it can be difficult, and with hybrid working, it makes it a little bit more difficult, and that you might pop downstairs into the office, and before you know it, it's 10 or 11 o'clock, then you're there 3 or 4 hours already at your desk. Whereas if you had to commute to your office, you might meet somebody, stop for a coffee, so it's a totally different environment, so I would say, look, it's what else? Communication is a key element as well. It's a large learning that I've had. I mean, you just need to engage with people. Okay, that's from a business development and a problem solving and a collaboration perspective. Other than that, I mean, I would say don't procrastinate. And look, I'm guilty of it, but and it's easy to procrastinate, but what I see, it'll build up stress, and the problem still won't be solved. Whereas good, bad, or indifferent, if you address it, whatever the outcome is, at least you're dealing with it. So
and eat that frog is a terminology we use, and it's a very important for not only yourself but for teams as well.
Yeah.
If we can train people, hey guys, this is the hard thing, this is the one to get rid of first. The rest then is relatively easy. So, last question or two. What's the best advice you would give to an up and coming entrepreneur? So let's say an 18-year-old you.
Look, I suppose from my perspective, it wasn't something that I'd originally planned to be self-employed. I worked for myself up to about 15 years ago. What advice would I give to somebody? Plan as best you can. Now, it can be difficult. Obviously, our industry, it is very difficult because you're dealing in real time, etc. Try and plan. Be prepared for a lot of knockbacks, because you will get a lot of knockbacks. They're not personal. It's just life and business. Or let's say aggressive. It's strong, but it is aggressive. So there will be a lot of knockbacks, but you'll have to get back up every time, is what I'd say. Let's be prepared to do that, and hard work and training the brain as well, exactly to adapt to being self-employed.
So take the knocks and get back up again. Bob, you're a great example to entrepreneurs out there. I think your company's fantastic. For those looking to see Bob's company, it's GC Fit Out, gcfitout.com. So go on and have a look at that. So you've any bigger projects going? So projects in between $500,000 and 10 million, that's your sweet spot.
Well, not even up to about 5 million. That'll be the max. Like, you know
Up to
what I mean?
5.
Maybe
Okay. Fantastic. Bob, thank you for joining us today. Wishing you every success in the future. And I hope we can have an occasion to talk again.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks very much.